So Katie, what's happening next?
So next we're going to be speaking to Janice and Coco regarding Klorane. So you may be familiar with Klorane. If you're anything like me and you need that extra time in the morning, a bit of dry shampoo is always a good go-to. Klorane is not only environmentally friendly, but they also know a lot about all things hair. So come along with us. These guys are going to show you through some ways to style your hair with Klorane dry shampoo. Which is formulated with plant-based ingredients, and it will only make your hair happy.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sharon and Katie, for having us today. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the SOUPFEST with you, and it's also so wonderful to be joined by my astute colleague, Miss Coco Giddings. So, Coco, thank you so much for joining me today. And today we are going to be launching a little bit of a poll. I'd like to find out, just for us to gauge how familiar are you with this particular brand, just so we can have a little bit of an idea. So I'm sure this poll should be kicking off right about now. No? Okay, never mind. I can't seem to find the little button that's on here, but that's okay. Thank you so much for everyone in the chat box who's actually coming on and saying they're not very familiar with it, or it's the first time you've heard it. This gives us a wonderful opportunity. Oh, here we go. Thank you to see if you are, just to understand a little bit more about it. So if you can just vote in the polls, that would be amazing. So good. So let's just get started. And I'd also like to say in the chat box, if you could be so kind to add any product-related questions that you may have, Coco and I will definitely do our best to happily answer your questions at the end of our session, and that should be in about 15 minutes. So welcome to the Soul of Botany. Welcome to Klorane. And Klorane is actually a perfect union of science and also plant-based heritage. And it creates effective, innovative hair and skin products that completely respect nature and people. And our story began half a century ago in southwest of France when a very young pharmacist whose name was Pierre Fabre, and that is the founding company that both Coco and I work for. He was driven by passion for plants, and he had a true belief in the benefit of health and beauty, and he developed the Klorane brand in his own pharmacy. Klorane, in fact, was the very first dermocosmetic. And this is very interesting because Mr. Pierre Fabre also created this concept. And it's all about taking the skin from health to beauty. And today, Klorane is dedicated to protecting both plant heritage and the environment. And with every Klorane purchase, a portion of the sales goes to support activities of our Klorane Botanical Foundation. And this corporate foundation has been planting the seeds of botany, or botanical passion, should I say, around the world for over 25 years. This is to protect and promote plant heritage. And we share this passion of botany with the global community, especially children. We've actually educated over 600,000 children. And we also have a local partnership with the Royal Botanical Gardens in Sydney. We do herbariums on stage in April and October. Unfortunately, with COVID, that didn't kind of happen this year. But we are constantly trying to educate children on the importance of plants. But we also have a fantastic scientific research with the Royal Botanical Garden of Sydney to help solve the threat of global rainforest extinction due to disease and also climate change. So our active ingredients are plant-based, and they're developed in accordance to a certified, responsible approach, and our botanical expertise and eco-friendly approach are embedded in the DNA of our brand. So today, we are going to be talking about a product that has been backed by numerous industry awards. And Coco and I are going to introduce you to a game-changing product, which is a dry shampoo. So Coco, you know I love this product very, very much, but it has a really interesting story. Would you be so kind to share that story with everyone?
Absolutely, Janice. I'd be delighted. And hello to everybody out there in SOUPFEST. It's lovely to be joining you this afternoon. I expect that most dry shampoo users will be surprised to learn that although it's now a sort of bathroom, handbag, gym bag essential for a lot of people, dry shampoo actually has its origins in hospital. So our founder, Mr. Pierre Fabre, who, as you mentioned, was a pharmacist, created the very first dry shampoo in 1971, so some time ago now. And this came about through his work in hospital, where he saw that although it was relatively easy for bedridden patients to clean their skin, to brush their teeth, it's almost impossible to clean your hair without running water, and that's obviously an impossible task if you're bedridden. So he set out to create a product that would assist these bedridden patients to clean their hair, clean their scalp without the use of water. And that's really where the first ever dry shampoo was born.
That's right. So dry shampoo is, as I've mentioned, is one of my absolute staples. And it's something that has been used for people who, are time poor. And also it's for people who, especially today with COVID, a lot of us have been working on Zoom, and we've got to be ready in an instant. So this can become your best friend. Also for mothers who don't have a lot of time, this is also a perfect go-to product to really absorb sebum, to absorb any kind of smell, odor, but also just to refresh and make you feel fantastic. So this is a product that can be used for people who are also coloring their hair a lot, who want to, keep the vibrancy of their color, especially with these toners. If you've excessively, got a lot of bleach and you've applied those lovely colors that they have to maintain those toners, but also for compromised hair, for hair that really is snapping, it can be extremely dry, and you really are worried about the fragility of the hair. This is great to use. It's also good for what I like about it is as a foundation. If you want your hair to stay in place, for example, if you want to have a really high ponytail, to keep that hair in place, it's a really good style support too. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration and just to let you know how to use it. So with the product, this is the Klorane dry shampoo with oat milk. And ideally, we're going to give this a good shake. And then what we're going to do is actually spray it directly into the root of the hair. Now, probably what's interesting for me is that this side of my right side, I don't have a lot of hair compared to my left. I actually like using this on freshly cleansed hair as a volumizer. So the key is to just spray about 15 centimeters away, so about the size of a pen. Spray directly into the roots. And I also like doing a little bit on the hair as well. And you leave it for 2 minutes. Okay, and that is my hot tip to you, is don't touch it. Leave it, let it work. This is when we can get the 4 super absorbent powders to work. They're going to absorb that sebum, and they're going to really be able to give a flawless, invisible finish. Now, from having a look at some of the questions that we're getting up here, a lot of people are saying, I'm used dry shampoo before, I didn't really like it. We're finding getting a lot of white residue onto the hair. That's the key there, is spray too close. So remember your 15 centimeters, your size of a pen or a pencil away. So also what I'm going to do now is, after say 2 minutes are up, we'll say the 2 minutes are now up, I actually like to agitate the hair or just really move my fingers around, or otherwise you can actually use a brush to just brush out the residue, which is really, really easy to do. But as I said, I like to use it as a style support. So for example, I have got some straightening irons here. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an example of what I would normally do. I've got my curling wand, and I'm going to actually just turn that around. I'm going to move my curling wand to face the floor, and then I'm going to pull it out. And I've got myself a nice little beachy wave, okay? So while I'm just busy doing this, Coco, maybe you can have a look at you see some of the questions that we've got from the panelists?
Yeah, I can, Janice, and I think quite a few panelists have asked about the product's suitability for dry hair, their suitability for oily hair, and then again quite a few questions regarding that sort of white powdery residue that you can get with dry shampoos. So I might maybe take a little moment to sort of talk through the different products that are available within the Klorane dry shampoo portfolio.
That will be wonderful.
Yeah, so we have two distinct families within their dry shampoo portfolio. The first is our dry shampoo with Nettle. Now, nettle extract is a natural SIBO regulator, so it can assist with really regulating those excessive sebum secretions from the scalp. So your nettle dry shampoos are really the perfect product to recommend for your oily scalps, your oily hair types, or for those of us who maybe have finer, thinner hair and find that, you know, between washes, those oily secretions really tend to weigh the hair down. So absolutely for your oily hair types, Nettle is the way to go. The other family, of course, is the product that you've just used, Janice, and that's the dry shampoo with oat milk. So oat milk is really rich in vitamins, in lipids, and it has a reputation for being a really sort of soothing, softening, and sort of protective active ingredient. So the oat milk family is perfect for your drier or your more sensitive scalps, and is also really helpful for frequent use. So those of us who, you know, want to use dry shampoo every day, and that's certainly my life at the moment. Now within the dry shampoo families, we also have two variants that will offer different benefits for different hair colors. So we've been talking a little bit about the white residue that can sometimes form on the hair with dry shampoos. So within each family, the Nettle and the oat milk, we have a tinted formulation and a non-tinted formulation. So the non-tinted formulation, yes, that's the tinted one there. You can see the little brown square on the label that designates the tinted formulation. And the tinted formulas are perfect for anybody with darker hair colors. So, you know, brown, black, and you'll notice that the tint is very, very subtle. It's a mineral-based pigment. And that's really there to ensure that the product doesn't leave a white sort of powdery residue within the hair, and it sort of blends seamlessly for that kind of invisible finish. So if you do have darker hair, this would absolutely be the product that we'd be recommending for you. For our blondes, those of us with grey hair or platinum, the non-tinted formula would be the one that we'd be recommending for you. So great to know that there's sort of so much variation within the range. There's really a dry shampoo for everybody.
100%. And thanks for that, Coco. That's a great explanation of the range that we actually have. You know, just to talk about how we have one specifically for the scalp type, which is the Nettle, and then oat is more that frequent use for sensitive scalps. You know, so if you're finding you do have sensitivity, our top recommendation would definitely be the oat milk. For me, that is my go-to. And, you know, for your darker colors, I've seen some questions coming up asking about, I've got really black hair. Can I use dry shampoo? Absolutely. We would recommend the one that has got the mineral pigment in it. So that will just blend, as Coco mentioned, just blend it into the hair without actually coloring the hair as such. Now, my other little tip for you, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of volume now. If I was, you know, going to do a bit of a Zoom call and I had 5 minutes and I had really, really dirty hair, I would be applying my dry shampoo all over. And then what I would probably do is I would actually take my hair into a ponytail, and I'd get it into a really, really high ponytail right on top of the crown. And I'm going to use a bit of an elastic that I love. They're actually, they're quite thick and they're pull resistant. And if you're going to have a really, really high ponytail, they sit really well. It doesn't actually fall out. So what I like to do is just put that right on top of my head, and I pull it pretty tight. Not too tight though, but there we go. I then smooth it over with my brush. So again, I'm smoothing out that dry shampoo, and then I'm going to twist the ponytail like that, put my fingers into the back, and with the ends, I'm actually going to tuck them around so you can't actually see where it actually, the ends of my hair are going to move into the ponytail. I'm going to take a little bobby pin, you can see that, And I'm just going to put one pin in, and there we go. And I've got a really top knot. So now we're matchy, Coco.
Yes, we're the bun brigade.
There we go.
And
Excellent.
Janice, we've just had a couple of questions come through regarding
Sure.
where Klorane dry shampoo is actually available. Klorane dry shampoo is absolutely available in pharmacy. Now that includes your big banner groups like Chemist Warehouse, Terry White, but it's also a product that's available in Priceline. And Klorane dry shampoo is also available at Coles and at Woolworths, which is excellent. So if you do run out and can't get to the pharmacy, you can pop into the supermarket and stock up there.
Absolutely. Great. So yeah, so those are a couple of my hot tips to use when we're using dry shampoo. Again, it's my go-to product, especially on a day 2 of styling. It is my saving grace. And it's a product that really I love. As a working mother, I don't always have the time to wash my hair. And this product really does save me time, and it makes me look my best. Well, I think it does. Really quickly. So what also is very, very interesting with this particular product and Klorane in general, as I mentioned, we have a Klorane Botanical Foundation. And we do a lot of projects, don't we, Coco? And we have one which is really significant at the moment, which is all about protecting our water resources.
Absolutely, Janice. So I think the issue of water resources is something that more and more countries around the world are starting to prioritise, and obviously it's important that we all do our part. And one of the great things about using a dry shampoo is that if you were to replace one traditional wash where you would actually use water to wash your hair per week with an application of dry shampoo, you personally would save 500 litres of water per year. So that's a sort of great way to get involved and make sure that we're preserving our really precious water resources. So yeah, that's something that we're really proud of.
Yeah, no, it is amazing that we can actually do something like that. So we urge you, give our Klorane dry shampoo a try and replace one of your wet washes per week. And we're doing something great for the environment as well. So it's excellent. And also what's really lovely with our particular product too is that we have the maximum amount of absorbent powders, which are based from silica. We have beta-cyclodrexin, we've got corn and rice starch. So this is the powder that really going to give that flawless finish, but also going to be really good in terms of cleansing properties and also distribution. So yeah, it really is a beautiful product, and I urge you to try. So it's no wonder that we are Australia's #1 leading dry shampoo, and we sell one every 10 seconds worldwide. So we're looking forward to hearing about your thoughts on this range as well. So in terms of other really interesting products that we have at Klorane, we've actually launched a new product which is really quite interesting. And Coco, I know that we often have conversations about airborne pollutants and how this can affect our skin, especially oxidative stress, and how this can actually lead to premature aging. One of the interesting things is that Australia is actually #1 in the world for offerings of free radical products or anti-pollution beauty products. And did you actually know that exposure to pollution can actually cause serious stress on your hair as well?
Well, I think, you're absolutely right, Janice. I think more and more people are becoming aware of the threat that airborne pollutants and other sorts of environmental aggressors pose to our skin. But really, when you think about it, anything that damages the skin also has the potential to damage the scalp. And obviously, anything that affects the scalp has the propensity to damage the health of the hair. And so, yeah, we need to be thinking sort of anti-pollution protection, not only for the skin, but also for the hair.
Exactly. And sometimes we do feel like our hair and scalp can be suffocating, and that could be due to product. You know, if we have been using excessive products, styling aids, or even the wrong product, you know. Also, natural synthesis of our skin and our scalp. So dead skin, sebum, sweat, and we also have environmental factors. So it's very interesting to note the calcium in hard water. We have hard water, soft water areas, but also copper pipes can also lead to a chemical, toxification on the hair shaft as well. So basically, when we're talking about those different types of issues, this can actually also play havoc on the hair and the scalp as well. And I know that you're aware of the short-term and the long-term effects of that. Okay.
Absolutely. In the short term, you know, we're dealing with a scalp that might be itchy, irritated, uncomfortable, you know, hair that's sort of dull, unruly, and difficult to manage. But long term, this is implicated with, you know, premature aging of the scalp and of the hair. So we can start to see premature hair loss and premature graying of the hair. So it is really important to be, thoroughly cleansing and detoxifying the hair and scalp, but doing so in a really sort of gentle and respectful way.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just got a little question. Is the spray of the dry shampoo recyclable? Yes, it is. So you can actually put that in into your curbside pickup with absolutely no issue at all. And you also find with Klorane that our products are biodegradable, but also the plastic is normally, we've used recycled plastic for those as well. So I'm sorry to quickly interrupt you there, Coco.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine, Janice. Not a problem at all. And so we're really excited to get the opportunity to talk to you about a new product within the Klorane portfolio, and that is a sort of clarifying and detoxifying range, Klorane Aquatic Mint. So again, this is something that is going to be available in pharmacy, chemist warehouse, Priceline. Now, Aquatic Mint has a bit of a sort of historic reputation for having a really high polyphenol content, for being sort of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and also antiseptic. But what's really interesting is that through some sort of research partnerships that the Klorane Botanical Foundation has been involved in, we've actually discovered that aquatic mint can have really powerful depolluting properties, and can be used to detoxify polluted water from things like toxic algae and heavy metal residue. And we're currently supporting this fabulous project in the Cevennes National Park in France, where we're planting aquatic mint in an area that has been sort of contaminated through runoff from a nearby mine. And we're finding that the aquatic mint in the area is actually helping to depollute and remove contaminants from that water, which is amazing. And I figure if this is what aquatic mint is capable of in our ecosystems and in the natural environment, imagine what it can do for the hair and for the scalp.
Exactly. So, and it's so beautiful. The smell, I've, just reading someone tell me, it sounds amazing. Please tell me that it smells like mint. Anita, you'll be happy to know. You can think of this like a fresh mojito for your scalp. Your scalp will have a cooling effect and your hair will be so glossy. I know a lot of people, when we're talking about this particular range, we're referring to, we're going to be detoxifying, we're going to be clarifying, but it really does gently remove that buildup without making that hair feel dry. It's actually the opposite. The hair feels absolutely fantastic, but it's really like I want to call it an ice bucket effect in the shower, because your scalp just feels so cool from it. So we have two products in the range. Sorry, I'm getting so excited I forgot to even introduce the product to you. We have a shampoo, which is going to clarify and protect the hair. And we in fact have a conditioner. So this is a protective conditioner with aquatic mint. And this actually has a nozzle. So you can apply this directly onto the scalp. After shampooing the hair, you leave the shampoo. Basically, you can apply a small amount of shampoo onto your palm. The trick is to really emulsify the product extremely well into your palms, start at the back of the scalp, and distribute the product through your fingers. So keep coming back to the palms of your hands where the majority of the product is, and redistribute with your fingers. coming up to the crown, all the way up to the top of the hair, and then start at the back. Gentle motions where you're going to cylindrical, almost circular motions from the base to the scalp, not too heavy. You don't want to vigorously scrub the scalp, and you also don't want to have too much of hot water, because that will increase the sebaceous glands to produce more oil. So really nice, relaxing method. You can use the shampoo every day if you wanted to. It is designed for frequent use. You could use it twice if you wanted to. I use it for my son when he's got a lot of buildup from gels and waxes on his hair, and I would apply it and leave it on for 2 minutes and then rinse it off. But if you're going to use it every day, that isn't necessary. So rinse that off, and then you are going to be applying the conditioner onto the scalp, onto the middle ends and ends. And what's so amazing about this conditioner is that you're actually going to find you're going to have 5 times more shine on the middle ends and ends after you've rinsed it off. And who doesn't want more shine?
Oh, sign me up. But I think, shine is particularly important for pollution exposed hair, because pollution can have a really sort of dullening effect on the hair. We tend to lose that luster and that beautiful shine. So yeah, amazing that you're getting a little bit more of that with the aquatic mint. And we have had some questions regarding suitability for different hair types. The great news is, of course, that this is something that can be utilized by all hair types. Curly, straight, oily, dry, coloured, not coloured. We all need a good sort of deep clean and a detox every now and then. And so this is something that really anybody can use.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coco, for sharing the Klorane story with us. We need to move on because we are actually run out of time. So I hope we have been able to answer all of your questions. If not, I do believe we will be able to receive those and we'll be happily able to answer. So thank you so much for listening and for all your comments.